friends of my mega channel. I'm making a video today talking about my favorite interior design channels on YouTube, and I have a little list and it's getting longer, so I might even split this video into two parts. I love going down a rabbit hole and I love discovering new types of channels, new formats, new type of information, also new perspectives of people's experiences, what they've learned. So I'm doing this all for you. I've gathered the information, I've done my due diligence, and here is my list. You know how I love a UK channel featuring farmhouses and weekend houses in the Cotswolds. It's my all-time favorite thing. And so let's start off strong with the World of Interiors. I think it's also a magazine, it's UK based. There is one specific episode that I was mesmerized by, and it's a couple. They live in the Cotswolds. They have a very charming farmhouse, and I just love the simplicity and also the yellow tones. I mean, not even talking about the massive fireplace that is just to die for, but it's this type of room where I just imagine a deep winter or a rainy summer evening, and you just cozy up in there and you're with your best friend or your partner or your family, and you just have a really nice deep conversation, a cup of tea, a glass of wine, and this is what it's giving. And this is what I love this channel for, because there's so many episodes of Cotswolds farmhouses and delicious textiles and quirky people that, I don't know, probably work in design and interiors. Very unique styles and very fun. Lots of artists in also, their London-based homes. And I feel like this channel is it really gives you a fix of creativity and also historical references and the right amount of culture and taste. So the World of Interiors, so good. It's one of the best UK channels out there. That's my first recommendation to you. There is a YouTube channel from the Sunday Times. It's also a UK channel. And this one is a bit more, it's lesser known, but also very, very good and well curated in terms of interior design. They have quite a few episodes of people who live in the Barbican. It's kind of like a housing complex, a brutalist architecture that is quite a landmark in London. So I really enjoyed those episodes on there. The channel itself is not 100% interior design. I mean, after all, it's like a newspaper kind of culture channel. So it touches on other stuff like cuisine, fashion, style, but they do have a nice selection of interior designers who show their apartments or artist studios. There is one episode in particular with Paula Sutton. She's got a vintage store called Hill House Vintage somewhere in the English countryside. And her house is just so filled with warmth and femininity. So I definitely recommend this episode. Me personally, I'm obviously focused on or captivated by the way that people use textiles in their homes. So I like the mix that people have. For me, it's quite unexpected when they mix and match certain patterns. I feel that's always kind of eye-opening and inspiring. And because she's a vintage curator and has an eye for that, it's Also interesting to see how she displays and curates the vintage pieces that she's trading and probably sometimes just keeps for herself, how she is curating her home around this vintage theme and adding that touch to her overall interior style. I can recommend 2 episodes from Vogue Scandinavia's channel. I feel like Vogue Scandinavia has so much more potential. I have a feeling they're holding back, and I don't know why. Maybe because they don't want to turn into an interior design channel, but the few episodes that they have, for example, with Peter Dundas, who is a fashion designer, and they kind of show his family home in California, and also an episode with Helena Christensen, where she shows her very sublime, supernatural Danish countryside home. There is also some episodes where they step into artist studios with really quirky Swedish artists. And this is the type of content that I would like to see more, because there is so many creators out there that are only known on a national level, but they would be so interesting for the rest of us, here in Europe, who also don't speak Swedish and don't really have access to that kind of subculture within their country. So yeah, I feel like Vogue Scandinavia could do a bit more. I still recommend the channel because of their way of filming things, their way of interviewing. I feel it's not very perfected, and I do appreciate that. It's very approachable, and I feel this also ties maybe into their cultural value of having things more natural and a lot of like nature and the natural flow of things. I really do enjoy that. And to be honest, I could do a Scandinavian summer. Like, who needs the Amalfi Coast? I think you would relax so much more just going to a Scandinavian little house next to a little lake and just having peace of mind and not the crazy heat. Kind of like the only thing that is a bit annoying probably is that you won't be able to sleep at night because the sun never goes down, so that's a bit peculiar. But other than that, a Scandinavian summer, maybe this is what I'm gonna do. Maybe this is what I'm gonna sign up for.
I've had this place since I was pregnant with Mingus, actually. I came to look at it when he was in my belly, and that means 21, 22 years. I was living in Paris and then New York and wanted an escape in Denmark I could go to whenever I was here, and also a nature place for my son. I wanted to keep the feeling of everything is integrated with the ocean, with the beach, with the sand, with the rosehip bushes outside. The weather elements are quite powerful here. The fact that everything is blowing and everything is windy and alive, that's the feeling.
If you don't know the local project, this Australian channel. If you don't know this channel yet, go over and watch all the videos. I feel I could watch this channel for hours on end because the videography is just so good. I do enjoy their drone videography because they have so much landscape to offer. So the scenery and the surroundings are breathtaking each and every time they feature a house. And so for me, there's a lot of this channel is I'm attracted to the landscape and this type of landscape that I don't know and I haven't gotten to experience yet. And also, it's not necessarily the homeowners showing the house, it's mostly the architects. And that's very cool because they get into some more technical details and they explain why they did certain things and what they try to reference in their design. It's very poetic, it's very calm, it's very relaxing. And it's kind of a magazine format. I feel the interiors are mostly very modern, so it's not as quirky and fun and personal, in my opinion, as, for example, the English farmhouses. I mean, that's kind of like the total opposite. But they do have really great houses that they feature and architecturally really interesting. So the local project is one of my recommendations because it's just that good. To be honest, I wouldn't even know which specific video I would recommend because they're all so unique in their own way because of the architectural features, and then the house is embedded in like this very specific landscape from, you know, New Zealand to the Australian beaches, and even some are filmed in California or elsewhere. And it's a really good way to discover architects and also designers. So it's very much focused on the artistry.
Any good building combines lots of separate ideas into one whole thing. And this one combines the idea of being a temporary installation on the landscape and also a connection to the history, the human history of the bay in its very simple rural forms. I'm Andrew Patterson. I'm an architect, and I work for Patterson Associates. The name of this project is Scrubby Bay, and it's located on a big 7,000 hectare station on New Zealand's Banks Peninsula. The farm was cleared in the late 80s.
A French channel that I recommend is a channel called Parisian Vibe, and it's a bit of a hybrid. It's a bit of like a mix of fashion girls or vlog type videos with influencers, models, but they also have home tours. And it's quite nice because sometimes they feature homes in Paris, sometimes they feature homes in the south of France or in the countryside in general. And it's quite nice because usually in Architectural Digest, you mainly see the over-the-top luxury apartments that the interior designers create here in Paris. But it's more interesting to see how the everyday person, or I don't know, like there are so many different types of professions also in the creative industry or business owners, and it's just interesting to see the way that they live, and also sometimes why did they move away from Paris, why did they move to the countryside, or why did they move to a smaller French city. And I mean, often the reasons are also because you can just afford to live larger in a smaller city, because Paris, after all, is a bit difficult. And it's nice because they reference places and shops that then also I can look up and go to if I feel like it. So it's nice to have a local channel for people who live in Paris or in Europe and then come to visit Paris. And they have a nice selection of really tiny studios, but also larger apartments or houses. And this is a very relatable channel, and I think this is why I recommend watching it. I did find this channel because they have one video that explains the art of styling a scarf, you know, one of those like silk scarves. I have yet to find my silk scarf. I haven't found one in my color palette yet, but I also recommend the channel for just simple styling tips like these.
10 years enjoying the beautiful countryside and just really falling head over heels in love with Provence. In the end, we found this beautiful farmhouse. It's on an island in the Rhone River. We have flat land and a lot of water for green grass just coming out of the river beneath us, which is really, really wonderful. We spend as much time here as we can. We also live on the East Coast of the United States, but we really and truly enjoy our time in Provence, and especially when we can get all of our family here with us. So I'd love to take you on a tour today, and I hope that you might find it interesting. The project was a huge renovation done by Alexander Lafourcade. It was a gut renovation with the floors, the walls, some ceilings, staircase, all taken out. It was really lovingly restored by them in a very, very authentic way. So we'll start here in the entry, which is the main entrance of the home. It's on the north side. And from here, we'll go through the dining room, into the living room. We'll have a look at the orangery and the heart of the home, the kitchen, of course, with the family room.
One of the channel who makes the most effort, in my opinion, is the fabric house Schumacher. If you don't know so much about fabric brands, Schumacher is a US brand, a textile brand for interior design. They've been around for a long time, so there is a lot of tradition, a lot of history. And on this channel, I could go on and on and on with my favorite videos. Maybe I'm gonna go through more than one that I'm gonna show while I'm chatting with you. They have so many good videos, and I guess the way that they select the houses is also to sometimes feature their textiles, but it's a lot of interior designers with a lot of interesting houses and a lot of personality. So if you want to watch one home tour after the other with people and couples full of personality, this is the channel for you, to be honest, because it's never ending. I feel like they even showed the home of the European manager. I think he lives in London. He then features so many of their textiles, and I think this is so important because textiles especially, you always have to show in context. Always. Because just showing a textile like this is never really very telling. And if you see it in a home on different types of furniture or on curtains or all of these things, it's just nice and gives a lot of inspiration. They also have little videos about interior designers, how they make up a bed. So they have a specific way and specific techniques, how they make up the different layers and accessories and textiles of bed to make it hotel style. Things like that I just really enjoy, because it's something that you can recreate easily in your home and elevate your quality of life, because who doesn't want to come back home each and every day and slip into a little hotel style bed? It's priceless. Also, one of the designers, he talks about lampshades, and I think that's a really important topic. And because you can find a nice floor lamp, a nice table lamp somewhere online, but maybe the lampshade is just broken or the textile doesn't match your interiors. So it's easy to find a lamp, floor lamp, table lamp, and then just spruce it up and make it your own and make it into a whole new piece of furniture if you make a custom lampshade. So he doesn't only talk about like the different textiles and the different kind of finishings, but he also talks about proportion, because if you have no idea, yeah, maybe then you don't really know, is this big, is this small, will this fit, how high does the lampshade have to be? Those things are super useful. So this is why I just love this channel. They have such a good selection, touching on so many different topics and just having really good tips that you can implement into your own home easily. One of my favorite episodes is from a couple that they have a house in Maine. And even though I'm not like particularly into like a sailor or seaside kind of aesthetic, they did it in a way that is so understated and so theirs that I just am so enthralled with how cozy the house is. They have this one library room that is in full wood, coziest room I've ever seen. Like, I just want it to be my office, to be honest. This is one of the episodes I've watched it at least 3 times, because every time it just makes me so reassured in a way. I don't know, it's just a really good episode with really good design, and they explain why they did what they did, because I think he's an architect. And also their little vintage finds and how they decorate the home. And this is my favorite episode on this channel, is definitely that one, for sure.
I wanted the house to have a little library, and so I was able to find a little bit of space on this side of the house, and it's one of the smallest rooms in the house. It's only about 10 feet wide. And I also wanted a room that was woody, but panel rooms can be really expensive to make. So I had the idea to make this room a wood room, but to make it out of plywood rather than paneling like I would do in one of my traditional houses. So these walls are all just made from white oak plywood and then given a really beautiful finish. And it has this wonderful kind of dry, slightly old finish to it, which I really love. And then the color relates in a really nice way to the seaweed that you see outside the windows. As you can imagine, Maine is a place that is sunny and bright, but it can also be foggy and cold sometimes, and so it's really nice to have a cozy room like this.
I've talked about Homeworthy on a previous video, but apparently now they have a channel that is Homeworthy California. And let me tell you, I found one episode, I stumbled upon it, and I was like, what, Homeworthy California? Okay, that seems to be a new channel. It's small, they have like 8,000 subscribers, so I feel like this is probably a new development. But they're touring a home of this French lady that has a vintage store. It's full of art, deco, style and interiors, and this woman to me is just a style icon for her interiors, but also for her personal style. I find it very inspiring. And yes, this episode, obviously, you know, it's very California, very Calabasas, and the dimension of this house is crazy. but the way that she explains why she used certain interiors and how she curates vintage with also upholstering vintage pieces, and why she swapped out certain things, and why she created the entrance the way that she did is just really nice. And I guess I'm also finding out more and more about myself that I'm definitely an Art Deco person. I definitely am Art Deco all the way. I think I'm getting to the point where I have to accept and I can't deny. Her name is Jen Azoulay, and she's French, and I guess this is also what I kind of like, because, you know, she's French, she's European, so she has this relaxed air about her. She's not overly done up. She's very relatable in her personality. I kind of liked the way she did her home tour, and I admire her style. And I feel like it's always really important to look up to people or to have style inspirations or people that you can identify with, because I think this is also sometimes hard to come by. It's hard to come by people where you're like, oh my god, I 100% admire your style and I would move in eyes closed.
We wanted to do something, we kind of redid everything here. It was not like that at all. We removed the hardwood floor and put some big tiles, because everyone that goes in the pool just comes here with the weight feet, all the kids. So we wanted to have this space kind of like the TV room, much less formal, and that's where kind of like we open all the windows in the summer and everyone is like back and forth between outside and inside, and we wanted something a little more neutral, just to not take away from the view and the pool and the beautiful mountains. It was hard to find a big sectional sofa that I wanted, and I had this one. It was a vintage one. It was pink at the time. We decided to keep it and reupholster it completely, and we choose to do different chairs, different color, different design. The inspiration behind it was the Mahjong from Roche-Beaubois, and so we kept what we had and made it our own. And we wanted to kind of separate it, so those are vintage marble side tables, and we redid the whole fireplace, and that's, I love what we did here. It was very different, and I just love those tiles that has like a design to it, and those are actually tiles. It looks like it's not, but it's
Because this video is so long, I'm just gonna cut it into 2 parts. So maybe you come back for the next one and let me know what channels are you into, because I think also there are so many younger people who start doing channels and doing home tours, and who all you need is a camera and some friends to open the doors to their home. So if you have recommendations, I'm always keen to explore and keen to learn more, because those channels are channels with big budgets and connections. So if there are niche channels with, you know, regular people who have interesting homes, let us know. I think this is a place where everybody can learn from everybody. So this is my kind of motto in life as well. I don't have to know it all, but I just have to know, or I want to know, where I can find the information, or where I can find the expert, or where I can find people who have the information. So if you enjoyed this episode, please let me know, give me a little like, give us a little follow, and I see you next time.